Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American Challenger League playoffs. We are here in the Grand Finals, Season 1, 2-0. The score so far, Team Coast looking to close things out against CompLexity. I am Reed Rapid Melton, joined by Chris Studio Grant and Dan Egad Caruso, and we will be your casters for what could be our last match of the night.
Coast, they're looking for the finisher. They've looked great. Oh,
all right.
West Fusion, no.
Broken Wings is down. Who's going to do it right now? The Silas coming. He's looking for the flash. He
Flash
gets the flash the Trooper. Jinte gets the first blood with the Q. And not much gold comes from it because, 3.15, they have the nerfs on that. But still, they're looking for the aggressive invade. They're going to get some deep wards on red. Or maybe just one or two. But still, first blood. Looking good for CompLexity for the first start.
That feel when you flash over the wall right into Jinte and Trooper, and you're like, probably wasn't the most effective. Right around the corner, though, they're going to force another flash onto Daydream, and a huge invade there for CompLexity. 2 summoners down, a kill, extra gold, and a pause.
Unfortunately.
Like, all right, we messed up. Let's go ahead and try and clean them up after this. Unfortunately for Coast, they suffered the wrath of leaving your base late. West Fusion did not go straight to that tri-brush, and if you do not rush the tri-brush, you risk being caught out. If you don't immediately leave base, that's happened quite a few times. It used to be a really big issue in the competitive scene because players were just a bit too lazy at the PC. Now a lot less often. I think West Fusion actually checked the ramp through the river first, but unfortunately that set him up for disaster getting to that tri-bush a bit too late.
Now DJ Dogue Prius isn't the only one with a pause, and for us here at the NACL, this has been a time where we get to talk about a lot of cool stuff, a lot of interesting builds and items, and well, unfortunately we can't see those right now, and neither can the players. So that leaves us with a ton of interesting topics to talk about, like Dan's bone. And
it's really dusty.
It is.
Oh,
it is.
God.
It's also, it's like it hasn't been used in a while.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, this got really awkward really fast. I think my bone aside, we're going to see that West Fusion DC, so maybe a little bit of internet problems on his end. And first blood going to CompLexity. He's still pretty good.
All right, so we're looking to get West Fusion back in the game, and at least for now, nobody moving just yet. You can see CompLexity really grouped up. They've got a nice formation in there, 3 men leading in there, and inexplicably we have cut back to the caster. Studio
casual,
is a little bit occupied there, but
welcome back, guys.
The rest of us are doing fine here. So in the meantime, while we get West Fusion back into the game, we're going to desperately try to save face and pretend like we were completely seriously casting. I'm going to straighten my tie. I'm not wearing one. Where did that go? I'm not sure.
It's a weird bone. Like, it really is. That's all
I mean,
I've
I'm
got
just
to
looking
say.
at it. It's like got a label on it. Who puts that on there?
This part looks like it's been chewed up a bit. I don't know what's going on with it.
Prius had a little preemptive time with the bone beforehand, so
He was nervous coming up here. We had to, pet him, tell him
we
he's a
actually
good
lured
dog.
him here on stage with this bone.
It's true. He just couldn't resist the
callings of his
truth.
instincts.
The calling.
Anyhow, going back towards that game, we did see West Fusion. He blew his flash, got picked off level 1. CompLexity spent nothing on that. No flashes, no summoners, just auto attacks and the right-click pressure. Daydream also blew his flash trying to escape that same fate. The question is, what will happen with that? CompLexity, they now have a bot lane that they're going up against that has 0 flashes, 0 mobility summoners available, which is huge. That means they're very easily ganked.
Especially a Cleanse Jinx. So you get all your front-end damage there. She can't bury your way. She doesn't have flash now for safety, so Cleanse to get away from a fear, and then potentially, Dark Winds comes in and then whatever else they want to throw on top of that. So it's going to be really rough for him down there.
And going up against a Fiddlestick support, you kind of have to bring the cleanse. Tenacity is great, but as an AD carry, the damage comes so quickly that you really have to, be able to get out of there. Whether it's from a, I guess you could get, support from like a Mikhail's Crucible, but that's going to take a while to build up, and it's not going to help you out very early on in the lane. And so without those summoners, it's not going to be a good bottom lane already. So CompLexity off to an early lead, and this is the last chance they have to show us what they brought out there. MIA already with some bold words about his performance. There we go, here tonight. So we'll have to see if he can live up to his tweets.
Going ham for the honeys. We actually have some honey on desk. I guess we can apply it to the bone if necessary. But just saying, when it
Oh, are you?
But yeah.
Good sweet lord.
That's one sweet bone.
CompLexity has been very dominant in the early game, or at least very equal in some circumstance. They'll take one lane really well, they'll have some issues in another, but usually they'll actually have a slight lead going into some of the early games. The thing is, this lead starts a whole lot earlier. This lead's definitely bringing them into the game faster, And I really think that CompLexity, this game, can completely shut down Coast. And if they do that, if they can dominate the bot lane, then even if Zion Spartan gets split pushing glory going on, it might not be enough.
I think I found a new sub-emote, the bone, the NACL bone.
The NACL honey bone.
I'm just glad we have the voice of reason sitting between us. We're back in the game, and not a moment too soon.
I couldn't get any faster, but they're rotating around. They're going towards their red now. They're going to try to counter out Nintendo X. There were no wards placed, and Nintendo X does notice that they're coming, hits the undertow. They will back out, and I think that's going to be the end of the aggression, and they're going to look to the lanes. MIA getting poked out a little bit there, but with that, 1 kill and 2 flashes over to the side of CompLexity.
All right, and so it's setting up CompLexity for a strong bottom lane, not just because of the lack of summoner spells, but also there's a little bit of extra gold there for a little bit of extra for Chuper, but it's Jinte who will pick up the actual kill credit. We'll have to see what he wants to buy. Hasn't actually been back to base yet, so just saving that early gold. Doesn't want to blow it on consumables early. Is going to save that for a big second buy when he heads back to base.
Now, we haven't talked about this, but Zion Spartan going up against Mega Zero in the top lane, well, actually going to be a 2v1 as they do rotate MIA and Chuper towards that lane. I was going to say, if Zion Spartan could really abuse Mark of the Assassin, try and hit it when Mega Zero doesn't have the shield on cooldown, it would be huge, but now Mega Zero can be roaming with Hecarim in the jungle, just trying to balance out that experience, survive that 1v2.
He got blue.
Oh.
They gave Mega Zero blue.
On purpose?
I guess so. I don't know if he took it by accident, but Smite's still available for Ninja Ken, so he's going to go to his red. They gave blue to Mega Zero. The cooldown is going to help him in lane, help him push that out, as well as sustain that turret and abuse that shield. Jinte and Shifter, we haven't talked about it. A lot of poke, a lot of zoning, and it'll force Jinte to max that Q and take the siege mode to farm up as easy as possible.
Usually when you give a solo laner blue, it's like a solo lane Karthus or a solo lane Olaf, because they need a lot of mana to dish out a huge amount of wave clear. For Mega Zero, it's only going to be there for cooldowns, and I have to think that that's going to be that was stolen away from Ninja Ken. Mega Zero knew he was going into a 1v2, wanted some experience, but picked up a little bit more in the form of that blue buff.
But it does benefit him quite a bit. The shield spam will be nice. Unfortunately, Ninja Ken, you can tell he's already out of mana. The jungle actually has to recall.
Yeah.
But the advantage is Mega Zero should be able to get at least 10, maybe 15 more CS. Though he is hooked out.
Death Sentence, there's actually going to be the zap as well as some auto attacks. Mega Zero down to 300 hit points. No matter how many cooldowns you have, you're going to actually have to have that shield up in order to block any of that damage. Top lane, though, Zion Spartan's not going to have an easy time. That's why you see Nintendo X up there. But with the early recall from Ninja Ken, he's taking a lot longer to get down there to help out Mega Zero.
Yeah, he'll get down there, stoke what he can. Chuper does get a lot of free pot shots here onto the turret. The Dark Wind's bouncing back and forth, doing a ton of damage. I don't know how much AP MIA has right now, so we'll eventually find out one day. And also, Mega Zero, instead of Doran's plane, instead of Doran's shield, we're going to look to see them engage here as back up top, Undertow's connecting through, they're just harassing back and forth. And they will go in with the Wiz Fusion. He's forced to cleanse away. Red buff being applied. He takes the Dark Passage. Can they get this one right now? Ninja Ken going to lead the charge, gets it with the auto attack, and that'll be another kill over to CompLexity.
If Wiz Fusion had a flash, he actually probably should have escaped that, kited that out.
Ooh,
mid lane takes a bit of
Jinte
damage.
taking a lot of damage. Shifter does not want to take turret damage. Predicts the other side of its turret. Jinte makes it out alive. Keep in mind, he does have barrier on Xerath, so going to keep him a little bit safer there. But without a lot of mana, out a lot of health, he's going to have to try to go back, but keeps getting delayed there by bouncing bomb. Now top lane, it's going to be a Shroud there, slowing out MIA.
The
Nintendo Deck so low, but keeps him alive for so long. Now it's Chuper taking a lot of damage. Zion Spartan wants to go in onto this. There's double buffs on Chuper. You can't fight that. Zion Spartan disengages. Stays alive, but even still, double buffs now on Chuper.
Zion Spartan tried to make a really good play right there. He delayed his attack, didn't proc the Mark of the Assassin because Chuper uses barrier a bit too early, and he could have waited the 2 seconds for that to wear off, but enough time there for Chuper to walk away, escape, kite with a red buff. And actually, Zion Spartan might go a bit more aggressive. He doesn't need a lot of damage to finish him off, but doesn't have the ignite.
No. Next time we click on MIA, we'll get to see what his tweet meant. I think he has like 60, 70 AP. It's something huge like that. That's why that drain was just ridiculous to watch. It kept him alive for so long, and unfortunately meant Nintendo X's untimely demise.
That was really well played top. Unfortunately, couldn't get the return kill for this out of Zion Spartan, and they trade support buff. The Mega Zero down here, in terms of farm, he is still losing out to Zion Spartan a little bit. Zion Spartan did rush for the Seeker's Arm Guard. Mega Zero, potentially the Brutalizer or Revenant's Hydra build. And with that cleanse down, Flash is up. They could look for the gank, and Ninja Ken could come out pretty prosperous from that.
Those early flashes coming back up for Wiz Fusion. Oh, Jinte, can you get out of this? Nope. Or Flash is available. He does have barrier. Should be able to survive this.
Oh, no stun there off the Mage Chains on Nintendo X. He's going to make it out, so a gank where he doesn't die is something he's pretty happy about after heading up top lane. Jinte just playing it safe for now. Games in Season 4 tend to last a while, and so Jinte playing a long-range champion, playing a very late-game champion as well, he doesn't have to win this early game. All he has to do is just try not to die. Doing a good job, picked up the first kill of the game. We'll have to see how much longer he can remain deathless in that lane versus Shifter.
Now, Shifter does have a weakness. He can't really go for a finisher burst on Jinte because of that barrier. However, Ignite does have one cool component. When you're fighting a barrier, because barrier is so short, for those last finishers, for those like last couple dots to, for a kill, you can still apply an Ignite, and it will tick through a barrier. It may not break it, but it will last long enough to still pick up the kill.
Down bot, we do have Nintendo X rotating right on it, looking to push this turret, do a lot of damage to it. Ninja response is coming down. Both their ghosts going to come at the same time. We see the turret taking a bunch of damage. Everybody moving forward, going in. Hecarim coming down. This could be a sign for a 2v3. Mega0 is level 6, has the ultimate. If anything, they could look to go in as the charges pop at a Flay. Gonna back him off, slow him down, and cancel that completely. That'll be the end of that.
It's surprising to see such a defensive play. Hecarim is not level 6. They probably could have fought that out, but at the same time, it is risky to go up against a Riven that is level 6 with that initial burst and very easily come people down. Now Mega0 going forward.
He's actually going to pop the broken wings to get in there. Nintendo X.
Yes, Flash.
Almost taken down. Ninja trying to get back in there. We'll go ahead and speed himself away. He always wants to be with you and make your dreams come true, but we'll have to wait for a little bit longer for that to happen. Disengaging there from the bottom lane. Jinte as well, forced down very low in the mid lane. He's going to head on back to base. Actually, he's stopping recalls, so hasn't decided just yet where he wants to go, but it's so low, I can't imagine he wants to stay any longer.
Shipper doesn't have the ultimate up, so it looks like he was worried about a possible side gank because he is wave clearing from behind the turret. Pretty cheeky play there. Gotta say, very, very cool to see someone abuse that vision mechanic. Top turret does go down. Bot turret being pressured hard, but that possible initiation from Ninja and Mega0 scaring off the really heavy push onto it.
Now, the first turret of the game does go to CompLexity, so already getting that early game objective control, but with Jinte forced out of his lane, it's going to be Nintendo X and Shifter to take down mid turret in response.
That turret going down, big objective control for them. That mid turret is probably one of the most important on the map to take down, especially early on. But we see a lot of damage coming in. Ultimate gets popped out from Ninja. He hits level 6 really early on. Ignite gets dropped onto his Fusion, but the Flame Chopper is going to completely halt them. And now that is it. They just disengage perfectly. Play, but Flash comes in for
Mega's
Mega0.
going in.
Looking to get anything he can out of his Fusion right now. Ignite gets dropped. Daydreaming not looking to follow up. Nintendo X now making his way down bot and will look to possibly push this lane with Mega0 summoners down and ultimate down. This could be a turret in response because nobody else is there currently besides Trooper and MIA, who did rotate after taking that tier 1.
Of course, MIA will be level 6 soon, so very defensive from Ghost. They realize if they stick around in the area, guess what? A Fiddlesticks Pro Storm on a very low HP Jinx and on very low HP Thresh, not going to be the best situation for them. And looks like CompLexity might rotate towards the Dragon. Really good play from Cole to force that 2v1 because the cleanse from Jinx has been essentially useless for the past 9 or so minutes. She did cleanse off the stun from Riven, but that is a 0.5 second stun if the ultimate is not activated, I believe. Even then, it's less than a second, and it's not really doing a whole lot from bot lane.
So for right now, what is going to happen is Schubert, MIA finally down there, will be pushing down a second tier turret, but with that top tier turret taken very early on, with Fusion and Daydreamin' are there to respond. It's 1-to-1 in turrets, and I actually like that advantage, but waiting there in the bush. We mentioned MIA having a ton of early game ability power. He's actually, he has the Spell Thief's Edge as well as a Doran's Ring and a ton of flat AP from just his rune page, so looking to go in here. You can tell he's waiting, looking for it, can't find it just yet. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Zion Spartan trading against Mega0 has a ton of minions at his back. Looking to dish out a lot of extra damage. Down Mega, actually, there's the Ignite, looking for another Shadow Charge just to get in onto Mega0. There's going to be it. One more auto attack. There's the Assassin Mark. Will Zion Spartan be able to chase this out?
Ulti. He's going to stun him on the turret, get the shield. He's going to get help from Ninja Chem. They pick up the kill. Nintendo X coming in with Ghost right now. Gets slowed up. Pops Ragnar. He's going to die to turret. That's double kill for Ninja Chem. A beautiful counter gank comes in. Mega0 kiting for as long as possible. Beautiful play. As well as now 3 assists on him. He's got the Brutalizer. He just went through that perfectly and completely kited that out fine.
Zion Spartan, it's like almost like he lagged out. He just clicked underneath that turret. There was nothing going to stop him. He had flash up that whole time, and I think he could have used it a little bit earlier, but wound up getting really outplayed underneath the turret and winds up with a double kill on the horse.
He was waiting for the shield to expire. Unfortunately, at the last second, he tried to hold on the flash for as long as possible too, and that gave MegaZero a chance to get his shield back up, which at the last second saved him. Also, MegaZero really caught him off guard because at the last second, he turned around with broken wings, went for this offensive stun, which did hit Zion Spartan, but he didn't expect that turnaround from a MegaZero, which, well, he flashed too far, flashed ahead of him, and could not secure that kill. Now MegaZero up top lane, he was getting pressured hard before, but with that Brutalizer, double Doran's Blade, and Boots pickup, might be able to actually escape Zion Spartan, but more importantly, could just try to turn around and kill him.
We do have people rotating towards this Dragon Pit right now. MegaZero, like you said, was rotating down there. Could look for the flank, but a pink ward, you couldn't clear out the wards. And with that, 5 members are currently there from side of CompLexity and looking to get this Dragon control. Shifter not even rotating, nor is Zion Spartan. So with that, first Dragon of the game. All right, no Undertow to steal it. It will go right on over to Ninja Cannon, CompLexity's side.
All right, so Dragon control has been something that, regardless of win or lose, they have almost always had in their games. Objective control as a whole for CompLexity is kind of the only thing that they care about. They've been known as a team that, while they win a lot, they almost always drop down very low early on. Whether it's kills, whether it's objectives, they always find a way. And not looking to gold bloom anyone, they're looking to find their way now into that Tri-Brush, clearing out that pink ward as they will disengage for now. Tied up in turrets, kills gonna go their way, and Jinte farming out the mid lane. Could run into Zion Spartan.
Alright, Twilight Shroud bomb as well comes through. Jinte with, Jinte going down as well with a nice roam from Zion Spartan. That Mega Bomb on top of it with the Shroud and the Mark of the Assassin just popping and blowing him up, and a nice easy kill.
That feel when you walk right into a bush. Zion Spartan, what are you doing here? Nice roam there. He's not just letting MegaZero fight him 1v1. He's making stuff happen across the map. An impeccable play by Zion.
Oh, the Crow Storm.
He flayed out of it. Daydreaming.
Now the initiation up top for MegaZero is probably going to be the wet noodle fight, but Shifter going to come in from the back. There will be the Twilight Shroud to slow him down. He turns around with the ultimate, drops Ignite, turns around the Wind Slash as well. Zion Spartan jukes on the minis, but Shifter so squishy. They're trying to turn around, but a dive down bot. Trooper going to try to take up Daydreaming, but Nintendo X with the Undertow gets that one. And now Ninja again from the side. Cannot stop him from taking the turret. Is going to try to sustain through this.
Crow's
W.
bouncing in.
Looks like he's going to pop the ultimate. Gets Nintendo X with a double kill. The Flame Chopper stop him down. And it looks like Shifter actually did take down MegaZero up top as well. So globally, that's a 2 for 2. But a tier 1 in the bot lane does fall and put it in favor of Coast.
That top lane fight, MegaZero just has so much damage. Zion Spartan has built aggressively, and he also has quite a punch pack behind him as well.
Let's run Cutlass first.
But the problem is, you're going up against the Riven. They actually try to bait that out as long as possible, but still MegaZero almost getting a double kill. Bot lane, without that Crow Storm, MIA couldn't pick up the triple, but they still secure 2 kills in exchange for a turret. Gold lead now only 1,000 in favor of CompLexity, was about 2k before. If they can get this bot lane turret, will grow a bit. But you can see that Coast still has a lot of fight when it comes to movement and rotation.
MIA is pretty low. Bottom turret, last auto. There's Ninja Ken taking it down. Damage to come out, but keep in mind you have such long range engage. Now Zion Spartan going to jump in on a MegaZero straight out the bushes. There's some more stealth. Regular ward in there. Won't reveal Zion just yet. Will MegaZero be able to fight him down? There's Twilight Shroud just barely disengaging.
One more.
Flash out. Shadow Dash underneath the turret. Dashes back out. Stays alive. Kill for Zion Spartan.
Nice. And it also looked like MIA, like he's going ham, is leveling Drain first, but Shifter going to be able to get out. But Trooper, are you going to be able to get? He tumbles towards Shifter. He's going to get hit by Undertow and turret. He is not long for this world. The Mega Bomb comes through, but he will tumble out of it. But Nintendo X will secure the kill.
The 9 gold to Shifter, that's something
Yeah,
that you want to do, but still goes Nintendo X, still going towards those cursed coffers, or those Coast coffers. Whoops, my bad. Way off on that one. Now, unfortunately for MegaZero in the top lane, he did not have his ultimate up. That Wind Slash has been the great equalizer between his fight and Zion Spartan's. And of course, Zion Spartan playing Akali has a much shorter cooldown. The Shadow Dashes, they refresh faster, and in general, MegaZero is going to have a lot more trouble when he doesn't have the ultimate up. So even though Zion Spartan had less HP, he had Ignite up, he had his ultimate up, MegaZero had no good response, and trying to flash away from Akali just does not work out very often.
Channeling his inner West Strive, Zion going for the Gunblade first build on that Akali. We'll have to see if it's sturdy enough for West Strive's standards. Is now 3-1. MegaZero having some issues, but even in some of the playoff games, the CompLexity played, Mega dropped down low early on. I think he was 0-2 a lot of the time, and then just managed to find kills elsewhere across the map because CompLexity, while they may not be a team to individually win their lanes, they've got some of the best team fighting in the NACL.
Well, solo fight going to have up top here. Zion Spartan dashing in the MegaZero, even with the ultimate pop. Gonna pop the Shroud, gonna slow him out, looking for one more Shadow Dash. He is on cooldown, gonna pop it up, and one more auto attack will secure the kill, but it's gonna be Mark of the Assassin putting Zion Spartan on a killing spree now over Mega Zero, who is currently 0-3-3, but here comes Ninja Ken for possibly the cleanup. He's gonna look to get the slow, the charge comes through, he applies red buff even through the Shadow Dash, but he dashes back onto the range minion. Shroud is up. Pink ward comes through from Ninja Ken, forcing the flash over the wall, but there's the chase from Hecarim. Ninja Ken all over the place, all over Zion Spartan's face, and will get the cleanup kill.
Juke to the side, juke all around, does not matter because Hecarim's just a bit too fast. That horse sticking on him. 601 going to be the big carry right now, going for a Triforce build, it seems, to try and build that DPS. Like you said, Rapid, we've seen CompLexity fall behind in the past, but now...
Oh, now it's Chuper is going to stealth out of the bushes. Can he find the kill there onto Wiz Fusion? Dodges out away from the Super Mega Death Rocket. Couple more autos would have even that trade, but it's Wiz Fusion in a 1v3 grabs a kill for himself.
Skill shots, how do they work? Not too many of them hitting Chuper, but unfortunately it's a 2v1, really hard to survive those. And with Jinx getting a lot of high damage, this is getting kind of scary for CompLexity. They're based off Ninja Ken right now. He's getting all the gold.
Oh, now I'm speaking of base, Mega Zero going to go ahead and get out of there with MIA, who with his very heavy ability power early on, haven't seen too much more of that, going for much favoring the mobility there in those boots. And now actually we could look for our first Talisman of Ascension there. Daydreaming very close to that item after picking up those boots 5 for himself.
If we look at the farm between Jinte and Shifter right now, that 40 differential is huge. MIA looking for the Crowstorm, but he gets spotted out by the ward. The bomb comes through as well as a flay. He fears Daydreaming, but it's not enough. Shifter blows him up. The ultimate's coming in from the side from Jinte as Ninja Ken will be able to pick up one as Daydreaming will fall under Token X, but he charges himself right out of there. And that was a nice snipe, some beautiful coverage, and great knowledge of just MI being over that wall.
And Ninja Ken finds the kill for himself now 7-0-1. If you guys remember one of Velocity Esports' last LCS games, somewhat bittersweet, but this is the same build you saw NK Inc. do on his Hecarim. He was ridiculously fed and just went straight for the Trinity Force and just carried out the game so hard. At least attempted to now dive underneath the turret. You can't stealth, but there's just too much damage. Mega stays alive. There's going to be one more auto attack for the kill. The Shadow Dash out, but can Zion Spartan keep himself alive? Nintendo's there. Is the charge damage enough? Zion stays in there as MIA out there to avenge Mega Zero's death. Nintendo X pops the ghost. He gets out of there, but a 1-for-1 overall.
Zion Spartan, fortunately, he thought he could pick up the kill with the Ignite, changed his mind halfway through, went back into the turret, and just enough damage being applied to him. Ninja Ken 8-0-1. This is going to be scary because Hecarim is not a tanky champion with his base values. His HP is relatively high. He's really based off the Spirit of Dread, I believe, sustaining him through a team fight as it will heal him for any damage dealt to an enemy near him. But the problem is, if the rest of CompLexity doesn't have enough damage, doesn't have enough follow-up, they're just going to get blown up, and Ninja Ken will have a lot of damage, but he won't survive. So they need MIA to actually keep building AP because that will indirectly keep up Ninja Ken's team fight. Which, as odd as it is, the big purchase now is going to be the Zhonya's Hourglass. Who's it going to hit? What's it going to do?
It hit MIA, but I thought they were checking for Baron.
It did go over the Baron pit. The Baron Fears are, of course, something to always be respected. CompLexity, they're sneaky when it comes to objectives.
So for right now, the big objective is not necessarily going to be that Baron for a while. At least I hope so. I don't think any of us are jumping in the pool just yet, so we're going to keep those objectives off the field. 3 turrets down there for Team Coast, taking out all the outer, or 2 in the mid lane, 1 bottom. Still the outer turret left, as you have Chuper and MIA there to defend that one for now. Now Shifter is in the bottom lane. Zion's on a ward, so he's going to jump out there. Chuper immediately ready. There's the Fear Condemn into the wall. Silenced out there. A couple more auto attacks is all it's going to take. Pink ward from Chuper. Mega Inferno Bomb there. Nintendo X is going to try to get a kill. Trying to chase in on a Chuper. Tumbles back away. It's an undertow. Shuts him down. Look at the damage from MIA's trade. Shifter's going to bounce on in for a killing spree.
There's a ton of damage to follow that up, but down bot, that's here too. Looking to go down. It is only Wiz Fusion down into that area, but he does not want to get doped by that combination. A beautiful pink ward from Shifter mid-fight to get him, a beautiful pink ward from Chuper that mid-fight to get the kill on Zion Spartan. He keeps being a sneaky snake in that shroud. We do have Nintendo X in the spot. Mega Zero and Ninja Ken rotating towards mid as there are pings on a Wiz Fusion, but Daydreaming looking for the stun, misses the flay, gets the ultimate through. Ninja Ken through the wall, gonna get the fear and push him forward as Jinte cannot snipe this one out. No, the Q was not enough to get it, and that was a good attempt, but to no avail.
Jinte just a bit too far behind this game. This is an issue with Zera that you fall behind. You do not deal enough damage for a full burst combo with the ultimate, and most of Zera's damage comes from that ultimate. So yeah, he can land those 3 ultis, it'll deal a decent amount of HP. Daydream was almost dead, but that was still not a kill. That was not really any benefit going towards CompLexity after that fight. So if Jinte can get some farm, maybe he can start going for the full one-shot combos on people like Liquid, people like Daydream. But as of this moment, he's more or less dead weight unless there's going to be immediate follow-up from MIA with that Crow Storm.
Blue buff resetting.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for both mid laners to take out their blue buff just yet. But for CompLexity, all they have to do is not lose. They have a great late game team composition in the form of the mid lane, Jinte on his Zera. Yeah. Resets here. How do you
Reset City, man, but
how
not
do
the
they
right
work?
way.
Yeah, Super's Mate also going to be offering that late game to CompLexity, so you really just have to hang in there and not lose hard enough. Now, Mega Zero, he's pretty far behind. Mega Zero kills right now, but still more kills to come in the upcoming team fights. Has decided to pick that up, but Zion Spartan top lane gets caught out there. Chuper's going to stealth as well as Zion. Can he take him down, though? But no is the answer. Actually, no, can he? Oh, the Shroud running out just in time. Be still by beating hard. Zion's is a little bit stiller as he gets taken out. Now, Mega Zero is just trying to create a peace pack there with his fusion. Trying to dodge out there. Mega Blade back into it. Daydream and Mega Inferno Bomb catches out MIA. Almost takes him down. You just look at the supports right now. Both of them with 0 kills, but the plays for days on Daydream, and as he just really sets up with fusion for a beautiful combo.
This is that range style of play that we saw in game 1 with both Ziggs and Jinx. That top lane fight had Shifter been a little bit closer, not necessarily in the fight, but just within range for the Mega Inferno Bomb, that could have been a 1-for-1 trade on Akali and Chuper. So this is turning into that same style of play where, alright, there's lots of 1v1s, 1v2s, and 2v2s happening across the map, but for CompLexity gets involved in those fights, there's that off chance that, guess what, a bomb, a rocket, something from very, very far away hits you in the face, and those executes on the Mega Rocket and the Mega Inferno Bomb damage is just so high right now.
Oh, Ninja Ken is caught out there. Zion Spartan to find the kill, but gonna drop the slow there from that Hextech Gunblade. Daydream can't find anything over the wall. Ninja Ken, a lot of damage left to give, but not enough chase there as those essences of Shadow do expire. Zion Spartan without any more of those. No Baron attempts just yet, but Mega Zero and Chuper, they're going for another turret.
But the flank is coming from behind right now. Daydream and use the lance to get intended X. Oh, a beautiful prediction on the hook of play as well. Chuper not long for this world. Gonna pop the Blade of the Rip King, but runs into the wall. Gonna get undertowed. Gonna get true damage, but Witch Fusion picks up the kill. As now Mega Zero is gonna be the next target. Bouncing bombs. He's gonna try to go over the wall. The Sassel charge to deny him, and that will be the kill over to Zion Spartan. As they are chasing this down still. Jinte.
All right, so going into this for right now, it's gonna be I guess the chase, the push from Team Coast very strong up the mid lane. It's Jinte. Oh, but top lane MIA. How ham is he going to have to go to stay alive for now? That fear, not 3 seconds anymore, but still enough to get him away safely. Though still pushing down the middle lane.
Be dead still. Initiation comes out from Zera. He's getting a lot of damage, but he can't really kill anybody yet. Here comes Ninja Ken, though.
Gonna knock him back, miss the fear, but they're gonna turn around there. The zap comes through, but it will be the shutdown from Shifter from downtown with a bouncing bomb. Intended X chasing out of MIA. Will get feared out, not gonna pop Ragnarok, still holding onto that. But the Mega Inferno Death Bomb goes into MIA. He's forced to flash away. Zion Spartan looking for the range. Can he get the Shadow Dash? It looks like no. There will be chasing down as Jinte will zone away a little bit. The fear on the turret. And Mega Zero looking for his first kill of the game. The Wind Slash with a Zonia's Hourglass. Can he get the Lantern? It looks like yes!
Oh my god, Zion Spartan!
The Undertows as well gonna zone them away, and the Daydream on point. Good job first picking Thresh.
I have a feeling that that would be something that D-Man would find difficult to believe, but even still, Daydreamin' just on point every single Thresh play. He's knocked MIA out of, I think, 2 Crow Storms, has had just absolutely everything on point, and while with his fusion may be a very strong AD carry in his own right, it's Daydream and keeping the rest of the team alive.
Making the plays, keeping himself alive, and of course good play from Zion Spartan, getting the Zonias to dodge that initial nuke from Jinte, and the flash to dodge everything immediately afterwards. Chuper was going to get him over the wall, but the Shadow Dash onto the Lantern, it's just so fast. It's about half second, 1 second to really kill someone in that space of time before clicking on the Lantern, and it's very well played by Zion Spartan. Now, there hasn't been any inhibitors taken yet. No Barons have been taken yet. We've been careful about saying that one. And the issue for Coast is the way they're playing. It's all about 1v1s, 2v2s, little small skirmishes. The big team fights, aren't really in their favor necessarily because Ninja Ken is just so strong. CompLexity, on the other hand, they've been going for zombie pushing. A lot of people are dying, but they're taking turrets and objectives when they do die. So they've been able to keep the turret count equal, but they're dying for it, and I don't really know how strong they'll be if they keep up that split push style.
Wards being cleared out there around the Dragon area. You know, at this point, we're 25 minutes into the game. It feels like we're about 40, so a lot of focus there on this global objective. Ninja Ken takes some damage for free. There's actually a zap. Mega Zero so low down there is now Mega Inferno Bomb tries to pick up a kill. Can't find anything, but drops CompLexity very low. Flash in, plate, box to come down. Trooper very, very low, but flashes back out. There's a huge ult in by Ninja Ken. Nintendo Next not gonna die. Undertow backwards. Mega Zero just getting kited so hard. MIA gets in there. Wiz Fusion so excited, looking to find Trooper there for the double kill. Trooper gonna get the impale against the wall, condemning Wiz Fusion, but it's a triple kill as Wiz Fusion, I don't think he's even done. Nintendo very low. Dominant performance there. Wiz Fusion.
Oh, he flashed out Undertow! The bouncing bomb of the mines as Shifter will pick up the end of that kill and make it an ace.
Jinte making the plays, getting the kill. Unfortunately for CompLexity, they put so much pressure on the Nintendo Dex. They did pick him off in the end, but diving for Nintendo Dex, bursting down Zion Spartan and Daydream, and who did that leave in the background? Wiz Fusion. We haven't talked about him a whole lot this game. He's gotten some good ultimates off, but Jinx is that late game fantastic, super powerful scaling carry, almost like the Vayne. Has an Avarice Blade as well, so...
Executioner's Calling.
Executioner's Calling. Oh man, I did not recognize that icon for a second. The Executioner's Calling is actually nullifying Ninja Ken with his scaling and sustain. Ninja Ken is a person that is scaling well into this game. He has 10-2-1. But what makes it so cool is because he's so reliant on healing, the Executioner's Calling actually shuts him down. They've hard countered the person that scales well.
And keep in mind, it's not just shutting down Ninja Ken, it's also going to stop the Bloodthirster heals from Mega Zero, and the big burst heal that you get from using the active on Blade of the Ruined King, and just the lifesteal in general there from Trooper, that's not going to work anymore. It's nice to see, and I've actually seen this itemization kind of against a lot of tanky top laners like Dr. Mundo, Olaf, Nasus, a lot of those guys that really like to heal, sustain up. But this time around, it's not necessarily against them, but it's really going to help Wiz Fusion. If he wasn't already going to win those 1v1s, he's definitely going to have him in the bag now.
All right, the pink core gets dropped on top. Zion Spartan gonna zone.
Okay.
All right, he's just doing a little posing with the statue. He's going to go on a Trooper, trying to pick him up. But he will not be able to. Ninja Ken with the 2v1.
Oh no, the Inferno Bomb gets him down. Shifter able to take him out there. Now Ninja Ken very slow. Shifter now finally arrives in person.
Death connects the bouncing bomb and the assassin charge in, but he's going to ult away through the CC. The Talisman of Ascension.
They're not done just yet.
Can they get it? It looks like he's going to be able to prance his way out of there like a nice little show bunny.
Okay. The Daydreaming show is done for now, but I don't even know what to say. That combo there. Zion's a little sad, but Trooper probably a little bit more dismayed.
Now, CompLexity, they did put a lot of pressure in the bot lane, a lot of pressure mid. They know they're getting caught out. What's happening is there's lots of 2v1s in favor of Coast, but this means that there's less pressure on the map. It's some sort of weird counter split push coming out from CompLexity. Looks like Mega Zero now hiding in the brush. If this Fusion
Mega
makes a mistake, he's going to die.
Okay, Mega's hiding. He's waiting for an assassination. He's 0-7-4. Like, I'm trying to think about the number of people that he could kill, and I'm thinking it's probably not all that great. So he is his waiting down there, probably just more for split push than assassination, is going to be enough to get him out alive. And everyone else from Coast, for the time being, is safe from Mega Zero.
Well, I mean, you know, he's 0-7-4, but he's Riven. Yeah. That's my fear. It's Riven. Like, it could be a 0-40 Riven, has no items in our inventory. He's level 4 versus level 18 Jinxes, and we'll still somehow kill them. But this is the fight. Zion Spartan going ham on Mega Zero.
Splash Rod gets dropped. The pink ward is already in the brush, though. So he gets spotted out. The Mega Bomb is going to come in. Can he pick up the kill on Mega Zero? It looks like he's going to dash back forward, but the Hex Drinker shield shields up some of that. He flashes forward, gets the kill with the stun, and that'll be the nice 1v1 with the assist of Shifter. Not doing too much for Zion Spartan, and now 1-7-4. There you go.
I really, truly did not believe that, but hey, Mega Zero makes a believer out of us all. If you guys want to hashtag I believe to him on Twitter, it's going to be Chuper. He's a little bit of extra belief going in onto Wiz Fusion. Ninja Ken's going to get the kill onto Daydream. The fight continues as MIA gets in there with a huge Crow Storm, and all of a sudden it's a 2-on-5. CompLexity firing back.
Baron now being looked at. They can definitely secure this. There is some pressure that could come out from Nintendo Dex with that smite possibility. There is a possibility of Mega Zero just taking the
Shifter
as well.
the invisible Baron, the infamous one at that. We do see the Jinte sieging up on the side, looking to see if he can snipe anybody else out. The Baron finally spawning up. It's gone. It's here. It's out. We do see him poking, and Shift was forced to back right on out. Trooper zoning away, doing all the damage. The Mega Inferno Death Bomb comes through. It looks like it will be the Baron over to the side of CompLexity.
Okay, there we go. I was a little bit uncertain there, but Baron finally decides to die. That is going to be a 5-man CompLexity Baron. They're low health, but they're going to regenerate that back, but it's NinjaKen decides to take the trip back to base alongside MIA.
They gotta go for the safe play. They finally took control of the game. They have the gold lead. They have the Baron buff on themselves. They can now move forward and really try and 1v1 some more. As Zion Spartan can apparently no longer beat Mega Zero in the straight-up duel. But with that Baron buff, they can now kind of siege up against the members of Coast. The problem before is that if any sort of poke lands, an undertow, a zap, they're at risk of just being bursted down immediately after. But the Baron sustain should make it so that they can actually get into a lane and stay alive.
Yeah, and now that we look at Jinte, he's got a finished Death Cap, he's got a Haunting Guise and Sork Shoes, so double penetration on him, so he's going to be poking away for a ton, especially with the siege damage that he can get for extra Spell Pen, and I like it. Now, CompLexity have the Baron, they're feeling strong. I wonder which lane they're going to go for. There's still that one Tier 2 left in the mid lane. NinjaKen maybe running into Nintendo Dex here.
Gonna find him out. Pink Ward, okay.
Just exchanging hugs, or just touches.
Alright, so Pink Ward dropped to scout out Nintendo Dex. Nothing really accomplished there as the jungle is cleared. You can see Pink Wards now, and that will really limit the vision, the lower half of the map there for CompLexity. Is now Team Coast look to actually be on the defensive against the CompLexity who have hung on this entire game, now looking to make Coast pay for all of those hours and hours of pain over the first 2 games of the series.
Mega Zero is back bot lane split pushing. Zion Spartan is going to be very defensive because, well, he's already died once to Riven. You die once, you'll probably die again. No summoners up for Mega Zero, so that could be the big turnaround as Zion Spartan does have Ignite.
There's almost a Lich Bane on Zion Spartan. That's the big power move as Akali. The burst just going through the roof. Mega Zero's taking some damage, does have a Maw of Malmortias, so he's going to be a little bit tankier down there, but NinjaKen getting slowed out. Nintendo doesn't get in range
Just
far
gets his
enough.
axe.
Yeah. Pink Ward getting killed out there by Chuper, and for CompLexity, you know, they're in a great spot right now, but the risky thing is when they do something with that, they have to make sure it's the right play. Finally, at 32 minutes into the game, the gold count barely in their favor, turrets tied up, and there's only so much left for CompLexity to push before they actually have to make a move.
It's all about catching up those crucial targets. There's a lot of single target CC on CompLexity. The stun from Xerath, the fear from MIA. Zion Spartan going forward for Mega Zero. Good burst, but no kill.
Yeah, Mega Zero definitely got a taste of that. Death Sentence will miss, but it does force out the final hour. Which is hopefully not the final hour there for Chuper, who will return to that push down the mid lane, or down the top lane. Jinte, in the meantime, that's the great thing about Xerath, but it's kind of awkward because Xerath, he's so good when you're defending your turret. He's great when you're sieging, but as soon as the fight actually starts, he can be a little bit immobile, and it's very vulnerable to some long-range poke from Shifter and the dive from Nintendo Dex.
Top turret almost going down from that constant split push. They just can't start a fight right now on Coast. They know it. They know that if they move too far forward, in comes the fear, in comes the Jinte burst. There will be enough damage between that combination to pick up a kill. They're playing
Jinte's
very
one-shotting waves.
All right, he flashes away.
Okay.
Wait, rocket, rocket, rocket!
No, it's not going to be enough. MIA stays alive. Bottom lane turret will go down. NinjaKen getting pulled back in there. Will ult away, just has to stay alive. Bottom lane, it's going to be Mega Zero dropping the Pink Ward. Can he find the kill? On to Zion Spartan. Nintendo Dex goes for the ghost, throws out the X, can't quite find it. Turrets falling across the map. CompLexity finding 2. Cannot catch in, NinjaKen rather, cannot be caught there by Team Coast. Two turrets, and hopefully another person to speak, because I don't know, I'm feeling the pain, and so is Coast.
Throats are hitting us as this has been a pretty cool third game. With the MIA bait, we'll call it a bait, that was actually really cool in the sense that it used a Mega Inferno Bomb, which meant that Zion Spartan dueling in the bot lane all of a sudden becomes a lot harder for him to win a 1v1.
Yep, and as we do see, Dragon gets passed right on over to the side of CompLexity. We snag that one really easily as blue buff going to Jinte, and with that, there's an open inhibitor top that could just leave Mega Zero to do that as the rest of the team just sieges up with Jinte.
Lich Bane almost finished on Zion Spartan. It looks like he actually might be rotating towards a Void Staff right now with that Amplifying Tome pickup. The thing for Zion Spartan is he's going up against a Riven, and Riven has built Maw of Malmortius. There's a lot of magic resist involved in that. And it's really hard for him to win the straight up 1v1 because while he does have the Zhonya's Hourglass, there's a Black Cleaver finish on Mega Zero. He's got the penetration advantage. So if he goes for the straight up Lich Bane, he'll be better in a team fight. If he goes for the Void Staff, he can possibly survive in that 1v1 lane with Mega Zero, which Coast style, he wants to survive that. And we do see Coast grouping up, pushing out towards the mid lane, finally leaving their base after such a long time being camped in. The Baron buff is gone from Complexity, so this is their time to really do something.
And that's the big point. You can see Team Coast, they're making a play, they're pushing up that middle lane. Mega Zero is still down bottom, and for the longest time, Chuper's pushing top. Now he goes back, regroups with Complexity, and it is just going to be that push from Mega Zero. But he can't stay down there, he can't afford to keep split pushing because he knows that Coast are going to make a move on this Baron.
With that, a minute and a half on Baron coming up, and we do see Pink Ward's getting cleared out. Everybody grouping up. Mega Zero still bot. They'll even Zion Sparta respond to him. He does the Void Staff. We said before he has it, so I'm wondering if that is going to be the big edge. But the Black Cleaver for Mega Zero could turn it around. You never know. We'll see how it does end up evolving out because he does have another Pink Ward to go through the Twilight Shroud, which is really good. They've been using Pink Wards every time they've tried to fight Zion Sparta.
Complexity have to be careful about getting out of position here. If they move too far down that top lane, Coast are just going to walk right down the middle and kill the entire base. It would be a base race that Complexity actually might win, so
At this point, yeah.
you just have to be careful about positioning. Mega Zero now pushing down mid. Complexity very, very strong, even without the Baron buff. You've got Xerath to push, and an incredible 12-2-2 performance from Ninja Ken. When he goes in, Coast are going to start to hurt.
Right there. Ooh, descends almost good.
The question is, can Complexity really go aggressive onto this push? There is a chance that they'll initiate, and if they don't get the Wiz Fusion in the back, if they don't get shifted, that damage is immense. And Zion Spartan, he might die quickly, but he'd be enough of a distraction to secure a fight for Coast. So even though they're ahead, they are not confident in their ability to initiate. They need to make sure that they get something like, let's say, a Fear from Hecarim into a Fear from MIA onto Wiz Fusion, onto Zion Spartan, or onto Shifter. In the back line, they can't try and catch Zion Spartan because then they're in a situation where, guess what, Ziggs will kite you, Ziggs will poke you down, Ziggs will win the fight almost on his own.
Zion Spartan does almost have that Lich Bane complete. He decided to turn the Blasting Wand into a Void Staff, and I like that decision because it makes him more effective. Burst damage, though, is a lot lower. There's the Baron respawn. Hopefully he sticks around for the entire time, very quickly down to half HP. Now it's going to be up to Coast. Do they want to go for this deal? Nintendo X is getting ready for it.
Rocket.
There's the Super Mega Death Rocket. Not in time. Complexity now with their second Baron of the game.
They're coming back into it very strong. Now they have a decent amount of gold coverage, as a gold lead, excuse me, and they're going to go counter jungle. Oh, blue away, take the white, and with that Baron buff, I think they're confident enough to push this opening inhibitor out. I don't know how Coast is going to defend against this. They have a lot of good wave clear with Shifter on that Ziggs, but with no blue, that's going to be really hard for him to do.
And Zion Spartan's just going to die. Yeah. They've got pink wards everywhere on Complexity, and Zion Spartan, if he goes in, will just get hurt down to
Again, down to half hit points very, very effectively. Ooh. There's the Super Mega Death Inferno Bomb Rocket thing that's thrown out by Shifter. There's so much just long-range area of effect damage from Coast that they did have enough to push Complexity out of their base. Inhibitors do regen a lot more quickly, so it's not going to be easy for Complexity to take them down without really committing to that top lane push.
They can just try and repush. They've already sustained almost back to full HP. Only Ninja Ken and Chuper missing any sort of life as well. MIA has a lot of sustain himself. And the issue here is there's no Ziggle.
There's going to be the Death Sentence right into the Flame Chompers. There's the Xerath versus Zion Spartan getting taken down low. Can you deal damage, though, to the inhibitor? There's MIA just zoning with the Crow Storm. Is it enough? There's actually Daydream and very low. Flashes out, stays alive. Zonya's out there. MIA just gets blown apart, but so does the inhibitor. Shifter somehow going godlike 7-0-6. Now Zion Spartan returning with Avenge. All Complexity have to do is run. They're going to get seen out there by the Scrying Orb, which will scout out Gente for a few more seconds. Mega Zero there as well. The disengage not going to be stopped. Zion, he wants to go out there. He wants to push, but he cannot stop Complexity from backing. The push very strong in the mid lane for Coast, but what can they do?
Have we seen Gente flash or barrier at all this entire game?
I want to say once.
Well, even very early on.
No. There was a barrier use.
Yeah, he did die a couple times, and in both of those deaths, he did use that. But Shifter now, a ton of damage, knocked up, but there's the tie from Ninja Ken. Will Shifter go down? Anya's Hourglass, a lot of damage to turn back, and it's actually the death of Ninja Ken. MIA still dead from that previous one, but Snipes in the back line as Jinte gets in. Mega Zero now, mega damage right there onto Daydreamin', and now it's Coast. 4 men down, only Ninja Ken dead. MIA respawns coming back from base, and it's up to Zion's part to defend. 40 minutes into the game, CompLexity looking for a win.
That's 40 seconds left on everybody's respawn. That should be either they're just going to go down top lane with the super minions that are spawning in that lane, so it looks like they will. Zionspart, I don't know if he can hold this off. We do have 30 seconds left, counting and waiting to see if they will get up in time. Can Zionspart do this one? He does not have zone. There's no Hextech Gunblade. I don't know. This could be game. This actually could be game.
20 seconds. Yeah, it's 20 seconds on Nintendo. There's 17 on Daydreamin' right now. The all-in attempt there from Zion. He's going to flash away in the Shroud, sniped out by Jinte.
That should be game.
10 seconds left. The Nexus will be going down before anybody responds. Good game. CompLexity staying alive.